Hello and welcome. My name is Alyssa Maurice. I'm the Research Associate at the William J. Hughes Center for Public Policy at Stockton University. I'm joined today by Katie Squindo, who is a student in the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, or SOBL, here at Stockton. And she's here to talk about research that she's been doing with Stockton faculty. So, Katie, if you want to start us off by introducing yourself and also introducing the faculty that you worked with.
Okay, hello. I am Katie Squindo. I am a senior here at Stockton. I am a double major psychology and political science. The professors that I worked with during this process was Dr. Claire Abernathy, who focuses mostly on American politics, and then Dr. Lauren Belasco, who focuses more globally, comparative politics, things of that matter. There also was a third professor who worked on the book that we are going to be discussing, which is Dr. Jen Forrestal, and she focused more on the historical factors of political science. So, yeah.
Thank you, Katie. Now, if you could give us a brief overview of this research that you've been working on.
So the professors came to me with this opportunity because they wrote a intro to political science textbook called Engaging Citizenship. And it goes into talking about the four subfields of political science, like political theory, comparative politics, American politics, and international relations. So basically, what I did as a research assistant was try to help with the supplementary materials within the book. So, as a student myself, I know that to gain a better understanding of a certain concept or chapter, you might want to watch a video or listen to a podcast, just have a more well rounded learning experience. And I felt like as a student, again, I had a good grasp on what other students would find enjoyable to watch. There has been plenty of classes that I've taken that I've used maybe slightly older documentaries or things that are more out of touch with the current modern day, what's going on in the world. And as being a political science major, it's important to focus on the history, but also modern day occurrences and examples going on in the world. And I think it also makes it more imperative for students to want to be politically engaged if they get examples that are going on currently. So it was a little bit of a struggle to try to find good, reputable sources as a research assistant, but I feel like I did the best I could. And there's at least 5 to 10 sources within each chapter that a student can go and refer to better their understanding of the content within each one. So.
That's great. Well, thank you, Katie. And I have to say, these topics in this book are very relevant to the Hughes Center. A core part of our mission is promoting civic engagement. So lessons on the political system and the democratic process are definitely important to us. And so we appreciate that work. And it's great that they were able to get a student perspective so that they could have material that would be engaging and interesting for other students. So that's wonderful. What was it that about this topic that interested you?
I think I used to be in the Model UN Club, so international relations always has a special place in my heart, especially because of everything that's going on, again, currently around the world. I was educated reading this book and looking up these sources. There was plenty of things that I was unaware of that are going on. So it made me reevaluate myself as a political science student because I realized I really wasn't paying attention to the news enough, honestly. So I have been making a point to listen to more podcasts myself in the morning and try to listen to the news as much as I can. I feel like this book really makes that apparent to care a little more. I think our generation is a little bit people expect us that we won't care because we're younger or whatever is going on in the world doesn't pertain to us, and I just think that's not true. And I know plenty of students that really do care about what's going on, especially on this campus. There's so many clubs, so many different organizations, events that go on, that I feel like a student would benefit from a book like this because it really points out what we need to care about, as well as the historical context, as well as really anything. If you are interested in political science, it's a great intro to every subfield that you might potentially have a career in.
That's a great message about how important it is to stay engaged about issues going on in the world. So now I just want to shift gears and talk about the research experience overall. What was it like doing research in Sobel? Did it impact your perspective on research? Did you learn anything new? Tell us a little bit about that overall experience.
I think it made me realize just how important it is to do proper research. So many people will watch the news or expect that that's the first thing they hear is the proper information, or not, maybe not hear the full side of the story. I found by watching these documentaries, podcasts on like actual reputable sources, that there was things that weren't brought to light about big situations that a lot of people are aware of. And it just made me realize as a student too, especially when you're writing academic papers or whatever it may be, that you really need to pay attention to who you're citing and where are they getting their information from, because you want to better your knowledge on these specific topics. But if you're doing that by looking at the wrong sources and not really paying attention to who's writing a specific piece, you might be hurting yourself in the long run because you're not made aware of the truth. um, I think it's also important to take certain things with a grain of salt, figure things out for yourself, not always just read the first thing you see and just believe it to be true. Really become your own researcher. Do your time and do look up Google Scholar, look into really finding out how to best get involved in your learning process, right? Instead of just Googling the first thing and clicking the first link you see, that's not always the best place to find your information from. In fact, it took me a lot longer to get these ancillary materials than I initially expected. There were some chapters where I spent hours, like 10 plus hours, trying to find just 5 to 6 good sources for these, for the content of each. And that surprised me. I would think that I would be, able to, especially bigger topics, find information, but it just wasn't always that easy. And I think that's why being a research assistant in general is a very important job. And that's why it exists, because it takes some time to really sift through and decide what is reputable and what's not, and to add to the content in the best way you can, and in the most accurate way you can.
Absolutely. And as a student, to have that experience vetting those sources and doing your due diligence, for a textbook that's going to be published, I'm sure was a really valuable experience for you. And I'm sure those skills will be very useful going forward. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here to discuss this project. For anyone who wants more information about the Hughes Center or to see more student research, please take a look at our website, stockton.edu/Hughes Center. So thank you again, Katie.
Thank you.